Hello everyone, Ben here, and we are back with round 4 at Zandvoort of our LTC Porsche Cup on RaceRoom. This is a 5-round championship, each round 1 hour race with a mandatory pit stop. You can see there on screen we qualified in 10th, so we're right in the mid-pack for this race. We are 4th in the championship going into this round, so we've got some ground to make up in the race if we're going to maintain that position. But I have to say right at the outset, this was a really challenging race session. In fact, the whole of the round was really challenging, practice and qualifying too. It's a really difficult circuit, Zandvoort, I think at least, and in particular in this Porsche Cup car, given the kinds of long sweeping corners you've got, getting the right balance of the car, being able to kind of carry speed through some of these corners like we're going through here, was really very, very tricky. So we lost a spot off the start, but we're now into the middle of the lap. We've got Chris Aston just up ahead of us, and we are really just trying to kind of stick close to him, but we've managed to outbrake ourselves into that right-hander, and so we've now got a car on our outside. If we hold to the inside, we should be fine. Oh, and there's been an off just ahead of us, so we will make that spot that we lost off the start back up, and we were able to ward off the challenge from behind as well. A relatively clean opening lap, it has to be said, in this championship round, given how challenging and tight and twisty elements of the track are. Pretty much everybody got through unscathed. There are a couple of cars now at the back who did have incidents, but by and large the field got through okay. So we're going to come round for the end of lap 1, and we've held station in 10th place, and now the job is going to be about trying to make progress as we go into the race. We've skipped forward now onto lap 4, and really not a lot has happened in the last few laps. We've just been holding station, but you can see up ahead there the two cars get it wrong. In particular, Venima, who was the lead car there, sliding off. Aspton then nearly got caught up in it. We had to take some pretty significant avoiding action to not plough into the back of him, and so we've made up another spot, and we're now challenging Aspton, who is just trying to regather himself after that episode, and he's going to run wide here on exit, so we're going to get a chance potentially around the outside. He's definitely got the better line here going into this right-hander. We try the cutback move to get up his inside into the final long right-hander onto the back straight, but we can't make that move stick. Unfortunately, he's got the ground into the corner. Fast forward now another 10 laps or so, and eventually Venima has caught back up after that episode, and he is harrying us significantly. We've both dropped the cars behind us, but we've now got a gap to Aspton up ahead, and Venima is putting us under some significant pressure. As we come into the chicane here, we're going to go side by side. I give him plenty of space to operate with, but I can't really do much about it. We're going to come out of the corner side by side. I'm going to have another nibble back at him as we go into this final double right-hander, but I just can't get the car alongside, and if I go any further into this corner then we're going to have a crash. He brakes mid-corner, and there's not really anywhere I can go there, and so I have to tuck back in behind him. On to lap 18 now, and it's time for our mandatory stop. We're running in 10th place as we go into the pit window. We change all 4 tyres at this stop. A couple of other cars opt to just change the 2 and then try and hang on towards the end of the race. We manage actually to jump Venima in the pit stops. So although we've come out in 12th place, he's going to run a couple of laps longer, but the undercut does work. So we are able to make up track position on him and actually hop back up into 9th place. So you see that now on screen. We are ahead of him again as he's come out from his stop, and we are now just trying to keep him behind us and hopefully claw back to the group of cars up ahead, some of whom have made a stop, some of whom have not, so there may be some more spots to be made up. You can see there actually cars coming out of the pit, so actually we're going to tuck in behind the group that were up ahead, but that's okay. There's still all to play for here as we head into the second half of the race. Venima's having a look there to see if he can get down our inside. We cover that off quite nicely, and now we're into the twisty first sector of the lap where it's really very difficult to make any kind of move stick. You can see in the way that he's able to harry us that he is the quicker car on the day. I didn't really have an answer to his pace through the course of this race. Even if we were able to drive defensively for this section of the race to keep him behind, even I've got in my mind at this point, he's going to get past us sooner or later. I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to run slightly wide, or he's just going to be able to hook it up together to get a run on us. But nevertheless, I didn't really want to let him go. We're far enough into the race now where actually it's worth putting up a bit of a fight. You never know what's going to happen, and sacrificing the position too easily didn't feel like the right thing to do. So we're coming now into the long left-hander, which will lead us into the straight in the third sector of the lap, down into the chicane. This is where he was able to pass us last time, and unfortunately I've ran wide on exit. So I was talking about making a mistake at some point. There it is. He's going to now try and get down our inside. He's very aggressive into the braking zone, but we're just as aggressive. We hold it this time. I don't sacrifice the inside of the corner to him in quite the same way, but he does hold it around. I nearly lose the back end on exit, and he has made that move stick. Really good racing, clean and fair, but aggressive, but he has finally made his way past. And as I say, on the day, at this track, in this car, he was just quicker than us, and sooner or later that was going to play out. I do manage to follow him around, and look at that, on the very next lap there is an accident up ahead, and the two cars that were running, I think that's Aspton and Leach, have come together, and now we've managed to jump up 2 spots, so we're running in 8th place at this point. And that has potentially given us some extra points out of this race, depending on how big a collision it was and how much damage the cars behind are carrying. Aspton has got straight back underway, so he's now following us pretty closely, but you can see from the front of his car he's got quite big damage. Leach has also rejoined, but a little way further back down the road. So clearly Aspton is keen to make these positions straight back. He's right back onto our rear bumper, and again through the race he's really been quicker than we have. We weren't able to stick with him in the first stint of this race, and so if he hasn't got significant damage, it's very likely he's going to be able to come back past us. Fast forward a couple of laps and we go in deep into T1, and we're coming back round, and he's stuck his nose in just slightly there, and he has tipped us round. And that is us with damage, as you can see from the front of our car. I was pretty gutted at that point. It felt like he didn't need to make that move into the first corner. Alright, I ran wide and I was coming back onto the racing line, but really he had the excess speed on us. Sooner or later he was going to get past, and it felt a little bit like he just rushed it a touch there. I dare say I could have given him more space on exit as I was coming round from having ran deep, but unfortunately we came together. So over the course of the next few laps I was able to narrow the gap back to Leach, and as you can see there on lap 30 he eventually made a mistake himself and went off into the gravel, and that promoted us back up into 10th place, which is of course where we started this race all those laps ago. And then over the course of the next 8 or 9 laps, the final laps of the race, we weren't able to make up any further spots. We were closing in quite significantly on In The Bag Bud, who'd only made a tyre change for 2 tyres, the front tyres, and therefore was running out of grip pretty quick towards the end of the race, but we couldn't make that spot back. And so there are the final race results. We come home in 10th place, a brilliant win for Abhishek Shah, his first win of the season, which sees him go into 7th place in the championship. Although it was a pretty disappointing race for us overall, we do maintain 4th place in the championship, but we're 20 points behind 3rd heading into the final round, so it does look as if that 4th is going to be the best we can get. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and join us for the final round of the championship next week as we head to Imola. I'll see you there.